Come on, Naeem!
Esse é o Mozi, é o brabo da putaria.
Come on, Naeem!
Esse é o Atash, é o brabo da putaria.
We're gonna get the charts pumping.
Esse é o Mozi, é o brabo da putaria.
Get ready for my trip to Rio. Alright, one more. And then we'll start the stream. One more. They're quick. I'm getting ready for my Rio trip. I'm gonna be in the beach. Come on, Naeem! Dana, 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 Dana. All right. Enough of that. Enough of that. I've just been getting myself prepared for the Rio de Janeiro run. I have to start immersing myself in the culture now before I get down there and start cooking it up. I'm going to terrorize that town. Terrorize that city. Anyways, outside of that, ladies and gentlemen, let's get back into the stream, okay? You guys know what's going on right now. You see Bitcoin moving up. You see it breaking out of the range again. Let's take a look at the charts here. So, very interesting couple of days since we last spoke, but a lot of action, a lot of money being made inside of the Discord, a lot of plays we've been running, a lot of trading on Hyperliquid, going well for the gentleman. So last time we spoke, okay, we were talking about how bigger picture we were expecting a breakdown on Bitcoin from this all-time high push, right? We came here, false breakdown, didn't work. Okay, we're coming back down into the range. You get range high, bearish underside retest, right? You reclaim the range, bearish underside retest, breaking down. We thought we were coming all the way back down to these VWAPs, which were the 60-day and the 180-day that were closer together down here, and come back down to this bull market trend before breaking up to all-time highs. Well, I'm not super convinced on the move that we're seeing right now in Bitcoin because it's been a low volume move. So I'm not convinced quite yet, but we have broken out of the range. We did break back out of the range, which is huge. That's significant, right? So if we close the daily candle outside of the range and we close a few this week and we close the weekly outside of this range, I would expect that we're pushing for an all-time high break. That's what I would expect, unless we retrace this fairly quickly, the same way that we retraced this JEET with an immediate pump back up, right? Just as quickly as you could have this pump back up, you can have a quick JEET retrace back into here, right? Before moving up higher. So we're going to be patient. But the point is we've been playing this range beautifully on a lower time frame, on the 1 hour, and basically swing trading this on a lower time frame, scalping this. And if you're inside the Discord, you've been seeing all the P&L posts from the trades we've been making, the money we've been making. So we've been tagging, the bottom of this VWAP, longing up, shorting down. We caught this whole move. We caught this whole move down to here. Exited like right in here, somewhere in here. Beautiful 130% gain on that play. Got it back up. And then did not expect this move this morning, though, which was interesting, this push up. So we came back down into this 30-day VWAP. Well, we broke down from it, and we came all the way up, rejected off of it, rejected again, reclaimed it here. So this is whenever things turned bullish again. So we lost the 30-day VWAP. That's why we had that big G, and we made that beautiful short on that. Ran up a nice bag off that short. Then we came back up, and we actually essentially rejected off of the VWAP twice. And then here, we reclaimed it. So this is whenever you say, oh, shit, things are starting to turn around here. And then you got that swing back up higher, right? So we'll see if we can stick the landing. It looks good right now. It looks bullish. I'm not going to be mad if we start the bull run now, obviously, because we're incredibly positioned inside the Discord. We've been positioned for months now, for years now, actually, in some trades. And we're not upset if it leaves us, okay? We were just expecting lower. So as long as we were prepared with shorts, which we were for a lowered move, we make money regardless. If we move up higher from here, we make money regardless. That's how you position well in markets. So we can make money in either direction. So that's where we're at on Bitcoin, okay? So we did reclaim the 30-day VWAP, which is huge, significant, breaking out of the range. So we'll see what we do here. And then just another indicator just to show you some momentum. So if you look at the RSI Symphony, this Symphony basically gives us RSI indicators. Let me move this. Why doesn't it save it? You guys save that. Let me move this to the bottom right. Thank you. Perfect. Okay. So the indicator in the bottom right-hand corner shows us momentum on Bitcoin on this chart. So RSI momentum. So even whenever some candles are coming down and they should technically be red, they're green because the RSI is positive. So we came back, we got a red candle to trigger here, which marked the low. And then we've been pushing up and getting greener on the way up. Meaning, look, Bitcoin score overall 63, bullish. Okay. 1 minute, 5 minute. Everything above the 15 minute except for 12 hour and the daily is above 60, which is bullish, obviously, on a higher time frame. Which on a higher time frame we were bullish. We were just expecting a further breakdown than this. Now, could the further breakdown still come? Yeah, absolutely. We didn't break this high yet, so it's not a change in market structure. We're still in a downtrend, right? We're still in a, boom, boom, boom. But then now this could still play like that, right? So we'll see. We'll see if we actually break that move. Now, so that's where we're at on Bitcoin. What's more important is what's going on with the altcoins. Are the meme coins going to start printing, right? That's the title of the stream. Meme coin money printer is going to turn back on. Yep, it's getting close to it. So this is where, and you're not late because this breakout to new all-time highs has not happened yet. And this chart on others has not had a breakout yet. Okay, meaning that altcoins, meme coins they still haven't had the rotation into those assets where you would print multiples 5, 10, 15, 20x off of those coins. So you're not too late to position at all. It's just you gotta do it sooner rather than later because it looks like Bitcoin wants to start running. Okay. Again, I wouldn't personally. That's not my base case, but it could run from here. It could. So let's just go right into the meme coins because it's the title of the stream. Whoops. So here's the big one I've been telling you guys about. We positioned in this inside of the Discord for a bit now, and I started talking about it on stream recently. This is clearly a favorite to run on this leg up. Okay, it's per. Let me put this off of log mode. Okay. So here are your levels, very clear levels that are playing. From the lows in April, this puppy was down at 5 cents. We're already up at 27. That's a 5x. Okay. 5x off the lows just from right here. Up in here would have been 6x. Okay, 5 times 6 for those of you who can't do math. Okay, boom. So this is clear favorite. Why is this a clear favorite? Well, Hyperliquid is growing daily in terms of volume and user base. Hyperliquid being the decentralized exchange where you can trade perps, spot positions, etc. And so Hyperliquid dropped that hype token back in December, which absolutely ran to multi-billions of dollars. People got rich on that airdrop, etc. Great. So now that hype is at 10, $11 billion market cap, and it's continuing to push higher, right? Continuing to be a favorite. Look at hype, which we've been talking about. We've been saying this. Hype was down here middle of May. Less than a month later, from chewing through this supply, hype is already looking to make a breakout again with Bitcoin. So hype is the clear favorite, clear runner for this next leg up in terms of altcoins. Is it worthwhile to have a position in this? Yeah, if you can get a good entry, which is pretty much unlikely at this point, just because the bid on it is so strong. It's just been straight up off of the lows. And now it's pushing again. Look at as soon as Bitcoin shows any kind of strength, look how hype moves. Bitcoin shows any strength, hype pumps. So you got to be cognizant of that. Okay, well, if this is the winner altcoin for this next leg up, this is clearly the most the favorite to get bid by big money because it's a multi-billion-dollar asset. Okay, and the user base is growing and the volume on the exchange is growing. So this token's only going to gain more value because it's going to be speculative in terms of how well the Hyperliquid exchange is going to do. So if the Hyperliquid exchange is doing better, the token's going to do better. Unlike Pump Fund said they want to drop a token. Yeah, Pump Fund is losing users, losing volume, losing timeshare, etc. It's not going to do as well as obviously this. Of course, it's not going to do as well. So this is running. So why are we invested in PER? Why are we getting big positions in PER? Because PER is the beta. It's the meme coin to hype. That was also dropped by them. So if we go back to PER, look at what PER's up for today. So Hyperliquid's up 8%, 8.5%. PER's up 21% today. 21%. That's beta. That's beta. That's true beta. That's what you want to see happen when you're holding these beta plays to the alpha. The alpha's performing well. Does the beta clearly trade correlated to the alpha and outperforms the alpha to the upside? Those are the two things that you need to look for whenever you're looking for a beta play. Does it correlate directly with the alpha asset? Does it outperform to the upside? Well, it's correlated. It's outperforming to the upside. So hype is only up 8%. Bitcoin's not even breaking the new all-time highs. PER's already up 20%. Now imagine Bitcoin's ripping into price discovery. Hype's ripping into price discovery. Does it 2x, 3x. PER's going to do what? 6x, 8x. Yes, I know it sounds like a lot, but that's just how they trade. So if you take a look here, it's respecting these levels very, very well. I've had these drawn out since here. So start accumulation, right? Up in here. Bought back in. We've been calling these out in the Discord on these moves. Caught the lows. You can see we clearly front ran this demand because that's how much of a bid is present for PER. And so we keep getting stuffed at this supply zone right here. This little consolidation that we had right here. That's where we keep getting stuffed. So if Bitcoin doesn't make the breakout here, here's what's going to happen to PER. You can see it reject, come back down into here, and then run whenever Bitcoin runs. This is a bid. Obviously, this is a bid, but you're not going to get this one again. It's too late for this. But those are bids right up in here. Okay, so right in here. Or if you get lucky enough to get this mid-range again, right here. So this mid-range, if you get lucky enough to get that where we bought it at, or loaded up extra at, then yeah, that's where you would bid. Okay, targets. Just very conservative. That easily. That's not even all-time highs. So obviously we'll go past that. 2x back to all-time highs. Break to all-time highs. You're looking at almost a 3x from here. Okay. If you get a nice bid And here, yeah, 3.5x. Okay, it's not bad. You go in with some size, 3.5x, pretty comfortably, soft toss. We're looking good. Realistic targets. This is what we want to look at. This is what we want to look at. Logarithmic, because it's going to appreciate on an exponential scale. So, yep, makes sense. So, 3.5x, I would say, is the minimum. And then if you want to do this one, I think this one right here is realistic. Not I think, I know this is more than realistic. This would only be a 5.5x from current levels if you start buying. Almost a 7x. If you get a nice entry. Okay? So that's where we're at with PER. Why does this make sense? Well, because if PER is clearly 2 or 3x leverage hype, so 18, 20, so let's call it a 3x leverage hype, okay, when things are really running. If it's a 3x leverage hype, hype's up 8%, PER can go up from 20 to 24%, 3x, right? Well, hype is about to break new highs. Oh, there you go. Like, I'm giving you guys all the targets. Congrats. So if you get that entry on PER, you're probably going to be like here on hype. So there's your 2x. So if it's a 3x for PER, what would that be? 3x leverage on a 2x. It's a 6x. What did we just say on PER? We would get what? A 6x. See how it's correlated? You see how they trade together? It's very correlated. The charts, it's incredible how they match up with each other because these fibs are independent of PER's fibs. But if you draw the fibs on Hyperliquid and you get the confluence, the fib confluence right here, the 1.618 from the log, 2.618 from the linear. So this would be your target. It's a 2x, a little bit over a 2x. Like right in here is a 2x. Perfect. Look, it's exactly 2x. 3x leverage PER, 2x times 3, 6x. What's the target on PER? Would it make sense? Yeah, 6, 7x. So if we even do it from like here, yeah, 6.5x. You see how they trade correlated? So PER is a fantastic beta. So I'm looking at around $1 for PER. Minimum. That would be minimum. Realistic for $1.50. $1.50, we really get shit cracking. Okay. So meme coin printer is going to turn back on soon. As soon as Bitcoin, we see this ripping. Once we get above, by the way, about 109. Yeah. On Bitcoin, these are the levels you want to look out for. Let's go a little bit on a lower time frame. Okay. On a lower time frame on Bitcoin, just to give you signal on what's going to happen with the altcoins. So we broke out of the top of this range. Okay, here's our RSI symphony. Okay. If we get above just about this level, you're going to see Bitcoin make a run. Okay. Right about here. Okay. You get back above this level, Bitcoin runs. I would be looking for 108.9, 109. Break that, you're cooking. Okay. Would not be shocked to see, you know, maybe we drift up into here and then we could make support out of the top of the range and go, or and get the eventual pullback that we had talked about. But that's what I would be looking at for Bitcoin. Okay, is 108.9, 109. Got you? Boom. So Bitcoin starts running. Obviously, ETH will do its thing, which has been ranging sideways. Solana, SPX. Let's take a look at Pepe. Okay. So let's take a look at what Pepe is doing. So this is typical price action for Pepe as well. It's usually good for 2-day. Yep. That we're seeing right now. So Pepe is also close to having the hero run. Every single time Pepe's loading up a massive leg up higher, we get this final bear trap, this final jeet down lower before a rip straight up. Okay? So look, every time it plays out like this. So you get a big pump off of Pepe. 10x in March. We ran a 10x on Pepe. Then you break down, come back up. You break down, come back up. People are like, all right, this is probably the low. Boom. Huge nuke, huge bear trap. And then what happens right after that? Straight up higher for a new high. Okay. And what was the move off the low? 4x. Okay, over a 4x. You 4x'd your money. 1,000 into 4,000, 10,000 into 40,000, 100,000 into 400,000 just in the course of a month. In 1 month. Okay? You always have this final bear trap on Pepe. And so you go here from this high. Draw all the way down. 66%. Look, you hit this high, and then immediately you draw back down lower. You get this move here. You think, oh shit, we're back. We're going to start running. One more bear trap, which was on August 5th. That nuke from Japan. Before what? Boom. Moving up higher. And you see it right here too. You pump. So this is your low. Then you get this pump. Then you draw back down. Oh, we're back. Nope. One last bear trap right into here. Straight up. Okay, so you get these one last jeets on Pepe that flushes out all the leverage traders, gets them all messed up, gets people to capitulate on their bags, and then what happens? You send it higher. So here's what we did from this high. So we run straight up. We get this high. We break down here, and we get this move, and then people are like, oh shit, we're back. All the way down here. Bear trap. Double bottom, then we move back up higher. Okay, fine. So what are we doing right now? We pump higher off the lows. So off the lows, we're already up. We're up 3x off the lows. We break down. Okay, and if I put it on the lower time frame, you'll be able to see this better. Right? Here's your double bottom. Okay? So we come up in here and we say, oh shit, we pump back up. We're ranging sideways. Here's your top here. You think, oh shit, we're about to start running it. But then you push here, then you're like, okay, from here. Boom, nuke. Then from here, you're like, oh shit, here we go. Boom, one more. Right? So it continues to fake you out to the downside. And this is why you have to be very patient with Pepe, but you see on every single other run, after you get this final bear trap, down in here, that's whenever you start to see the moves back up higher. The scary jeets down. So what's my point here? Well, it looks like we're starting to get those last little moves to the downside. If Bitcoin runs from here, okay, it would make sense because this was your little final bear trap where you broke market structure here, but instead of breaking down further and coming back down into this demand zone back in here, you start curling back up and start sending. So it's going to have to happen this week or next week if we're sending from here. Otherwise, what I would expect, and this is what I was telling the gentleman inside the Discord, I got some of the guys waiting to clip in, I have a target in here that I'm not going to give you where I'm expecting it to come back down to if Bitcoin gets that eventual pull back down to like 94,000. If that happens, I have a target where that will be the final bear trap for Pepe. You clip in there, that's a generational bid, because on this run up, you see we're going to have new highs on Pepe because we're going to have new highs on ETH. So if I throw on, I should have them, but I don't. Oh, that's why. So let's put this back on hype. I'm going to get you my Pepe targets. Oh, well, there's your Andy targets. Okay. At the very least, 3x. At the very least, 3x. That would be the minimum I would see on Pepe at this point at 3x. This is what I'm expecting. Okay, this is what I'm expecting. Somewhere in here. There you go. Now you can see it's behind my fucking screen. Okay. This is the minimum expectation. Well, this would be... Oops. This would be base case. This would be... Let's do it like this. Base case. Bear case. Okay. Those are the levels on Pepe. But the printers are about to turn back on. This is what I'm saying. You have to get positioned quickly because as soon as these moves take place, you miss out on the multiples. You're going to see it. When everybody comes back to crypto, everybody starts downloading the Coinbase wallet, Coinbase exchange, Robinhood, buying Pepe, buying Bitcoin, Ethereum. That's when it's done. Exit liquidity. Those are the people we're jeeting our bags to. Last run up, when people were jumping in, was when? They were jumping in whenever Pepe got listed on Coinbase, on Robinhood, WIF got listed. What else got listed? What else got listed? Some other bullshit. All these things started getting listed after the inauguration and into the December. And Coinbase Wallet, Coinbase Exchange, those were the top two most downloaded apps in the App Store. Those are top signals. When that's happening, that's when you got to start taking profits and start taking shit off the table because the shit ain't heating up anymore. It's already heated up. All the normies are buying. All the new market participants are entering. All the big dogs, all the big players are going ahead and unloading their bags off to these people. That's what you got to understand. So now, when you're in these positions where you're able to accumulate and you have these clear levels and you have somebody like me inside the Discord that's giving you the clear levels where to bid, that's where you got to bid. It's patience. It takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. But when it happens, you're going to have these massive moves in a short time frame, and you have to be ready and prepared to jeet your bags. You have to be prepared to sell and make a profit. It's not hard for a number to go up, okay? Any normie can get lucky, buy a token, and then it pumps 2, 3, 4, 5x. It's possible. Here's the difficult part. The difficult part is parting way with your bags at the right time. The difficult part is understanding when market structure is breaking and it's time to exit the position, when the market is overheated, when the market is overbought. That's when somebody like myself comes into play. That's whenever the network comes into play, because you might be this guy who's investing $1,000 into these meme coins, or you have 100,000 meme coins or $1 million in meme coins. Regardless of how much you're investing, it is worthwhile for you to be a part of an organization that will show you when to enter and when to exit, because it's going to compound your money exponentially, because the entries are going to be that much better, as opposed to being a passive bidder that simply just buys whenever, doesn't look at charts, doesn't know whenever the price is overbought, oversold, etc. You're just buying to buy. And 99% of these meme coins and shit coins that you're trying to buy and get rich off of, they're going to go to zero without you even knowing it, or before you even get a chance to exit. Right? You're only going to sell whenever you're losing money. That's how people think. That's how people buy. They buy at the tops and they think it's going to go up forever. And then as soon as the price starts going down, that's when they start selling because they get scared. As opposed to the opposite, when the price is going down and going down and going down, that's when you should be buying. And then when the price is going up, as opposed to getting excited and buying more, you should be selling. Right? So patience. But we're going to win, and we're going to win big, gentlemen. So Pepe's getting ready to load up this next leg. Okay, so Pepe absolutely fantastic, doing what we expect them to do. All right, Pepe's just waiting for ETH, just waiting for the majors to run. Okay, hype, like we said, hype is absolutely chatting. Let's get back to hype. Yeah, chatting. Okay, chatting. Let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's trying still. Love it. Love it. Like I said, we were short. I'm still relatively short locally. But if we get the bull run, we get the bull run. I'm not worried about it. All right, let's see here. What do we got? What do we got? Okay. Real quick in the chat. I know we got a bunch of live viewers. Let's see what we got. How many total we got? Let's take a look. Beautiful. We got over 25 live viewers. So give me questions, any charts in the chat that you guys want to see quickly before I go into the next one. Questions, comments, concerns, charts, altcoins, meme coins, majors, macroeconomics, inflation, fucking interest rates, whatever. What do you guys need to look at? What do we need guidance on? Okay. While you let me know in the chat, let's take a look at SPX. Who could have foreseen this? I've got to fix this. Put this in the bottom right, and I just save this as default. There we go. Okay. Who could have foreseen? People who sold their bags, and I know them personally. I know who they are. Down here, you never panic sell, please. Please. I know people who are changing their 401ks, moving into less risky assets, investing less because of this. Look at where we're at. How disgusting is that if you fucking G'd the lows and sidelined yourself? How disgusting is that? We are now only 2% off the all-time high. We are now only 2% off the all-time high on the SPX. After being down 21%. How disgusting if you cheated. Again, the value of being a part of a network where in the Discord and in my own life, the people that I know personally, because obviously I know way more people personally who are invested in the S&P 500 as opposed to meme coins, I was saying don't cheat here. Buy more, buy more. The S&P 500 is the easiest chart of all time to trade because you can't lose over a long enough time frame. There is no losing in this chart unless you do dumb shit. You can't lose. All you have to do to make money on this chart, which normies even make money on this chart because they just passively bid it to infinity and beyond. But if you have any brain and all you do is say, oh, I'm just going to buy a lot more than I usually do whenever we're doing shit like this. On big pullbacks, you would be making tons of money if you have size. Now, obviously, I don't recommend fucking investing in this chart specifically because it's a scam for billionaires to make money. But if you choose to, buy on the Jeets. COVID happened. Everybody loses their minds. What is that? What does it do? The chart right after COVID. You should have bought up only till January of 2022. Up only. Here. It's scary. It's tariffs. It's Trump. Da, 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 da. If it's scary, you buy. If it's euphoric, you sell. Very simple. If it's you buy the fear, sell the greed. Buy the fear, sell the greed. We're already back up to fucking almost all-time highs on the S&P. You see how quickly this shit moves? You see how fucking manipulated these markets are? Once you accept that this is a Ponzi, once you accept that these markets are all manipulated, the sooner you can start actually making money with people who understand that. If you really think that these markets are fair, they move a certain type of way, they're going to be consistent, you can time things well, it's not going to happen. It's a Ponzi scheme. It's all manipulated. So have the wherewithal, have the foresight to understand that these things are going to happen in a way where once enough time passes, it's always going to go back up. So really think about in the moment when the tariffs are happening and things are scary and everything's going to zero and everything's cheating, which I understand is stressful, especially if you're using this as your retirement. Got it. Has the stock market ever gone to zero in your lifetime? Ever. It has not. Every time it comes back, right? Yes, it does. Okay. So don't be a coward and sell and jeet the lows and stay sidelined until you see this shit breaking to new all-time highs again and then deciding, you know what, I'm going to reposition. There's a difference between hedging and stabling up in crypto because you think more downside is inevitable and selling all your positions and not buying back in until we're breaking all-time highs because you just simply didn't believe that we could be back. You have to move quickly in these markets if you're going to be trading. You have to understand that there's momentum shifts, right? A famous play that we did down in here was when we lost the bull market trend. Guys in the Discord, including myself, we hedged here. Opened up shorts, stabled up. Because this was a break of market structure on a higher time frame from the bear market breakout. This is a major multi-year trend from 2023 once the bull market started for crypto. We lost it for the first time here in April. Okay, that's a good place to hedge. That makes sense because of TA, because of what the right thing to do was, this makes sense to hedge for, right? But as soon as, let's go Ollie. Ollie's back in the US. That's what I'm fucking talking about. Let's fucking work. Let's make millions, Ollie. As soon as we broke back up and reclaimed the bull market trend, what do? Instantly flip back bullish, open up longs, ape into positions, get repositioned. Why? Because now the trend is back. We reclaimed it. That's how you do it. What other people do that are going based off of emotion is they sell literally everything down here and don't have any short exposure. They literally just sell everything. Wait. So not only just up here, but they're going to wait. I'm going to tell you right now. I guarantee this is what people are doing right now. They're going to wait until this. And then when we're up in here, and everybody's talking about it, and we're at new all-time highs, the stock market's so back, economy's booming, we're at like 6,600. We're up on the S&P another, 10%. That's when people are going to start buying back in because of FOMO. And what's going to happen is we'll end up running, maybe another 20%. They're still buying up in here because they're all excited, and then we do this. And then it's bear market. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. You have to be able to switch quickly. New information means new decisions. It means we got to change our perspective on what's happening in markets. Look at Bitcoin. It's pushing for it. It's pushing for it. Let me put that line back up on here. Let's see. VWAP. Yeah, VWAP. Like, clearly, look, we've clearly reclaimed this VWAP, which is very significant. That's why I'm saying if we break this, that's the line in the sand. That's where we're fucking ripping. Something like that. Okay? All right, gentlemen. Ollie, welcome back, player. You want to see any charts specifically? What are you thinking? What are you thinking, Ollie? What do you like? Huh? Let's see. Look at that. 108. Let's take a look at Sol. Got a bunch of just the boys club. I've been able to keep up on the plays. All right, let's peep some boys club. So Pepe obviously waiting for ETH, but here's what we're looking at on Pepe. Brett, let's take a look here. Let's see. So Brett, 11x from here. Let's go on a lower time frame. Here you go, ladies and gentlemen. Who could have foreseen? This is clearly your demand zone right here. Overhead supply from when we broke down. Demand is why we held in here. Kind of went sideways. Held here, held here, held here. Anywhere in this demand zone is a bid for me. Okay, if you're in here, so down at 450, anywhere from 370 up to about 500M. We're at $520 million market cap on Brett right now. I mean, you could in here. It's close enough, but ideally, you want to be stacking up bids in here. Okay, that's where you want to be at ideally. Let's see. Okay, good. So there's Brett. Let's take a look at Wolf or Andy real quick. But look, this is what we like to see. Pepe's up 2%, 3%, 9%, 7%. Good. Get us a little bit of a extra push on Andy and Wolf. You can see that people are starting to bid. Look at this. Who could have foreseen? Demand zone working perfectly. Same thing with this one. This is why I have this demand right here. Every time we wick down into there, instantly getting bought up. Instantly getting bought up. So now we're up in here. Sure, you can still grab some in there, but anything in here is ideal. But we might start running now, so that's why I'm saying it's like you are close enough to the point where it's still worth it to bid down here if you need to get more positioned. If you're already heavily positioned in ETH beta, you don't need more, then I would wait to see if you get this. If you get this, then it's just a no-brainer. You have to bid that. You have to. It's generational. But if you already have fat positions in Boys Club, I wouldn't necessarily be aping up in here. Okay? So, but we caught the high. Rode it all the way back down, right? Off the lows. This is where you're repositioning more, because eventually when you get ETH to run, that's when you're going to get Andy to new all-time highs. So I know this looks crazy, but it's the reality of it. If you get ETH to new all-time highs, you're looking at 24x on Andy. If you get ETH to new all-time highs, you're looking at, 40x for Wolf. Again, I know it seems crazy, but that's really what it would be. If you get new all-time highs on ETH, you're looking at a 40x for Wolf. Okay? So there we are, gentlemen. We're pretty much at the demand zones on all the Boys Club, which is, again, interesting, but it makes sense. Why? Because all these charts are correlated to each other. So if Pepe is at a certain level and Brett's at a certain level and Andy and Wolf are at a certain level, they typically sync up on their charts. So you notice how Andy and Wolf are both right at their major demand zones, right above this capitulation. Look. So right here's the major demand. Here's the capitulation. And then break through it, set it as demand again. Look, see, this is where we went sideways. So naturally, when I drew this out, I didn't have this coming down into here yet, but it floated right back into this demand zone. It makes sense. Look at Andy. It's like the same fucking chart. Consolidate, move sideways, create demand, broke down from it, rejected from it, broke through, came back down. This is our support. You see how they're at the same levels, essentially? Look, same thing on Brett. It's literally the same charts, just different leverages. It's incredible how they trade like this. So same thing. Move sideways, break down, capitulate, right? Same as Andy and Wolf. Broke through. This is our demand. This is where you bid, right? Because this is demand here. When you're moving sideways, consolidating, you broke down. It's supply now. You chew through the supply, turns into support. Chew through the supply, turns into support. Chew through the supply, turns into support. This is your bid zones for all the Boys Club, except for Pepe. Pepe is not at the bid zone yet. Pepe is just showing so much strength that it hasn't. Oh, yeah, it did actually. Excuse me. No, it did do the same shit. It literally did the same thing. You see how the charts are literally the same? sideways, consolidate, break down, break through, support. It just got front ran a little bit because it's so strong. It's incredible. It's the same chart, gentlemen. That's how good these betas are. They're so good. We're just waiting for those big moves on majors. Patience. Patience and we win. Patience and we win big. All right? Outside that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to get out of here. Let's get it rocking. I got a couple meetings to do. We're going to fucking run it up. Run it up big. We're going to make lots of money. So I'm excited to see all the millionaires that come out of this organization. We have people that are well on their way. By the end of the bull run, there's going to be a few of you that I certainly may never talk to again. Not because I'll be gone, but because you'll be gone and you'll be retired with your families. Which could not make me any happier. If I never talk to you again because of that, I'll be okay with it. All right. Mr. Producer. By the way, I was the first motherfucker who was drinking Saratoga from years ago. Not that dude, Ashton Hall. I know Ashton Hall's all pouring toga, acing his face up and shit. I've been togaed up for years. Just so you know. Mr. Producer. We got all them hoes. I'll see you guys inside the Discord. If you're not already in the Discord, link is in the description. Go to thetaylorscode.com. Join as a gentleman so you get access to the private crypto plays. That's going to be my portfolio, what I'm buying, what I'm selling, when I'm buying, when I'm selling it, trades that I'm putting in on leverage, on hyperliquid exchange, etc. Making money on shorts, making money into the downside, using that money to reposition at the lows into my spot bags, accumulate more wealth. We have the strategies. We have the DeFi protocols as well. So I'll show you how to make money in all the DeFi protocols, arbitrage, liquidity pools, all that shit. I know it. You want to make money? I'll see you inside. Simple as that. All right. I'm out of here. Peace.